Well, hello everyone, welcome back. Hello to my new subscribers. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who may be new here and don't actually know me yet, I'm Carrie. I'm the DNA Geek in DNA Geek Crafts, and this is my weekly or bi-weekly, right now it's kind of in flux, update on my progress on my whips and my plans and my haul and anything else I feel like talking about. Probably hear some nerdy and geeky references. You'll probably hear about what I'm reading or watching if you stay around till the end. Some people are just here for the stitching, and that's fine too. We'll get that out of the way first, and then we'll jump into some of the other miscellaneous stuff that makes me me. I'm not sure if my co-host is going to be joining us today or not. She is currently sprawled out on the floor. Well, that was quite the thing. I actually had to take a break for a sneeze that took like a full 30 seconds to actually manifest. I don't know why you care. I edited it out. That's why we do this. Anyway, she's currently sprawled out on the floor. I'm not 100% sure what she's doing. You better not be chewing on my bedspread. She appears to be chewing on something, and I'm hopeful that it is something she's allowed to chew on. I can't see from this angle. Yes, she has a toy. Good. So I don't know if she'll join you or not. I know for a lot of people that will be disappointing, but I frankly wouldn't mind if I didn't have this spinny thing going on for like once ever. And if you don't know what I'm talking about because you're new here, if you stick around, you will. So, yes, whips, plans, haul. I have all of those things this week. Not a whole lot of some of them, but plans especially. I have a lot of plans, and they coincide some with my haul. I have water this week. Sorry, she's distracting. I'm not used to her being like on the floor. I'm used to her being behind me where I can't just look down and see what she's doing. I don't know why. But anyway, we'll go ahead and jump right into whips. I've been primarily focusing on two this week, so I will talk about them last because they have the biggest amount of progress done. One of them is a new start. I actually, if you watched last week, I did accomplish my goal of getting 2 finishes done in July, which meant that I was allowed to start my next project, and I have, and it's right here. But first up, some of the other things that I worked on this week. The first one I didn't get very much done on at all. I was kind of hoping that I would have more stitchy time this weekend and that this might actually come to a finish. But this is Hands-On Design Flamingo All the Way. And I am doing it on 32 count graceful gray linen from Vichelt. And the last time that I showed it to you, it looked like this. And here is where I'm at now. So I got all of this color green done, which is the leaves that are on the collars of the flamingos, and then they are the boughs along the bottom of the platform. And I'm sorry that that is rocking because Lexi rolled her ball back behind the tripod, of course, as soon as I started filming. Could you do that elsewhere? I like you too, but stop. And then I fixed the missing row on the flamingos, and then I've started the words all the way, which are the last things that are done that color, which is Weeks Dye Works Sockeye. So yeah, I was hoping to get a little bit further on this one, especially since you'll see in plans, I don't know how much more I'm going to work on this in the near future. But there again is where it's at. It'll be done by Christmas. I'll get at least one of them done by Christmas. All right. So That's the only one that didn't get a lot of work done on it this week. Well, lot is a relative term. That's the only one that got 100 or 200 stitches. The rest of them I got more. And then the next one is, as always, Deal Struck. And the last time you saw it, it was here. And as of right now, I only have 600 of the 700 stitches I need in on this because I have to do my 600 for today. But here's where I'm at so far. So I'm so close to getting the black done. I just have this tiny little quadrangle because it doesn't have a point anymore. So now it has 4 sides. So I want that tiny little bit. This open stuff is all super dark navy, like 939. You can't tell when it's stitched, but it calls for the navy. And then I am still working my way down the hand. I did go back. I've mentioned the past couple weeks that I'm not really happy with like the colors here and how they're blending, and I was very concerned that it wasn't going to turn out right. I did go back and actually blow up the model image, just like zoomed in on my phone, and this is how it looks. So it is just the fact that we're so close. This is actually just a tiny part of the hand, is why that looks like the big mess that it does. So I feel a lot better about it, and now all that remains is to just keep pushing through. I didn't do a count on this, but I'm coming up on 14,000 stitches complete. I hit 6.5% complete earlier this week. So slow and steady progress on this one. Still on track to finish in mid-November of 2026. I gotta stop saying that because it's just depressing. Oh. All right, the 2 that I got a lot done on this week. Oh shoot, I intended to take this one out of the Q-snap. So I'm gonna do that really quick. Okay, so this is We Do Disney. This is one of the 2 remaining Christmas gifts I have left. I have 3 gifts I'm currently working on. 2 of them are for Christmas this year. One of them is a graduation present that I don't think I need I don't think it's this year, I think it's next year. But I'm still keeping it in the gift rotation and trying to get it done. And if I get it done by Christmas, maybe bonus, but I don't know. So the last time that you saw Disney, it looked like this. And I'm trying to think back to when I recorded last. I'm pretty sure that I still had the back stitching to do on Worries. I'm pretty sure that we were still talking about that, and I hadn't decided yet if I needed to do it, and I decided that I did. So this is where I'm at right now. Yes, there is where I'm at right now. So pretty much all of page 2 is done, because that line that says in your heart, that is the bottom of page 2. So you'll notice I am missing 1 word right here. This should be smallest, as in the smallest things, but I am waiting on some stitchy kindness from someone that is on the way. That is the color that I want to stitch the word smallest in. So that page is pretty much done. So then I moved the Q-snap and came over here, and I finally frogged the rainbow letters here. So I restitched in this. I've also frogged the E down here because that's actually going to be in white as well. So I got the in this, I got the Hakuna, I got all of this done in the past week. Yeah, so I made actually quite a bit of progress on this one. And you can see a little bit further down, that's as far as I've gotten, which is the bottom of page 4. So there is still some underneath it in this horrible horrible stuff that needs to be pressed because it's been crunched up in the grime guard. So yes, here's where the whole thing is at right now. And I will try to start remembering to take this one out of the Q-snap to show it, since it is just a little bit wider than the Q-snap. But yeah, making progress. Really happy with how Worries pops now with the outline. I was a little bit worried about Heart, but I think that it is bright enough for you to be able to see it. And now I just keep filling in the rest of this page, and it should go relatively quickly because everything, like the positions, have all been marked when I stitched up from the center to get there. But the center is way down here in Faith and Trust. It's right next to where Faith is. So I have a long way to go on this one still. Even if I do continue working on this as a priority project, which plans, I don't expect to have it done by the end of August, which is fine because, again, only 2 of these have to be done by Christmas. And the other one's not in here because I didn't work on it at all. That one's Grimm's Fairy Tales, if you're following along. And then last but not least is my new start, and kind of the thing that has changed the trajectory. Whew. Ugh. Of what I'm planning to work on for the next little bit. And that is, I finally got to start on the cryptid cell from the Witchy Stitcher. I've got about 600 stitches in on it. I am almost done with the first page of the frame, which is the only part that's been released so far. The first cryptid will be released on September 3rd. So if you were thinking about doing this and you haven't yet, it's not too late. Even after the first cryptid drops, it's not too late. But here is where I'm at. I love the Victorian Gothic look, and I love the way that this one is turning out. So all I have left to do is pretty much the Sea of Cryptid up here, and I think there's maybe like 6 rows more of the border on this, and I'll have page 1 done. So if you follow along on Instagram, hashtag CryptidSal, you'll see a lot of people already have the frame done if you want to see what it's going to look like when it's done. This is as far as I got this weekend. This is one of my priorities, and I am really loving it so far. So, yay! So that's all that I worked on this week. Plans have changed. The last time that I talked to you, I think that I said that my goal was going to be first priority, 100 stitches a day on Deal Struck, because it's going to take the rest of my life anyway, and I would like to finish it before I die. Second priority was going to be We Do Disney. 100 stitches on We Do Disney. Third priority was the Cryptid Sal, 100 stitches on that. And then fourth priority was my smalls. And then any time that was left would go back to We Do Disney. Well, several things have changed that. The first one is Crystal Academy. We are currently on a field trip, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun little game that we're playing. But for every step that we take on the field trip, we do 200 stitches, and then that's our roll of the dice, or our requisite to be able to make a move. So 200 stitch increments, and we can do 2 whips. So I have been using We Do Disney and the Cryptid Sal. So they've been alternating 200 point blocks instead of 100 of each a day. It's been more like 200 of Cryptid and then 200 of Disney and then 200 of Cryptid. So still roughly the same amount getting done, probably a little bit more. I've probably gotten more stitching done on those 2 than I intended. Intended makes it sound like it's a bad thing that I got more done than I hoped. So I am kind of ahead of the game with those 2. And the field trip lasts until the 16th, I think. Yeah, the 16th. So I've got another week of that. So I'll probably still keep working on those. I need to stop saying Do you know how many minutes worth of ums I cut out when I edit? I think last week it was almost 5 full minutes. No, not last week. Yes, last week. With all of the, there I did it again. Yeah, it's a lot of time. It's anywhere between 1 and 5 minutes per video that I cut out that is just me going and and I'm gonna try to be better about it. I can't promise anything because I do totally make this up on the fly, and I've never gotten the verbal tick out. I don't know. I've also noticed I tend to pause longer when I'm deliberately trying not to say I tend to pause longer because I'm trying so hard not to say I can't think of what I want to say next. Does anyone else have that problem? I know I'm a weirdo. We've established that before. My whips have theme songs, but I don't know. Okay, where was I? Crystal Academy is one thing that has changed my plans. The other thing has been my creepy crafty collective. There I did it again. I'm gonna stop pointing them out because I want to cut them all out. So my creepy crafty collective, there are a few of us that started a chat about the cryptid Sal. And along the way, we've enabled each other. So I am fully going to lay the blame for a large part of my haul on my creepy crafty collective. I went in with 2 Sals. I'm coming out with 3, possibly 4. The 5th one I was able to resist. But I'm coming out with definitely 3 already purchased, possibly 4. So I went in with the Cryptid Sal and Stitchonomy's Halloween Stitch Along, which there is still time to sign up for that one. I'm going to put the links for everything in the show description. So it'll be there. It's not too late to sign up. That one, once it closes, you cannot get in. And I think it closes like September 3rd. So if you want to do that one, get on it. I went in with those 2. Georgie, Crafty Rogue Gamer, and Joe, Stitchy Cat Lady 26, pointed out Lakeside Needlecrafts Candlestick Halloween Sal. And now I have that one too. So there's 3. And then Morti, Mad Morti, showed us this Steady Threads spooky Blackwork Sal. And so far I've managed not to buy it. That like never happens. Usually someone shows me something and boom, in my cart. So I have at least 3, possibly 4. Then the more I started chatting with everyone, I've made no secret, Halloween is my favorite holiday. Are we gonna do costumed Flosstube starting in October? Oh yeah, still gonna do costume Flosstube in October. But as far as I'm concerned, spooky season starts August 1st because that's when the Sals start releasing frames and flossless and things to start getting ready for spooky season. So I started looking back at some of my other spooky projects, and I'm about ready to just declare open season on spooky everything, which means that we do Disney and Grimm's Fairy Tales, probably gonna get a back seat. Dealstruck is like Victorian Gothic, creepy, like demons and Faustian contracts, and that's good to go. That one stays no matter what. But yeah, I think the cheery ones might take a little break and I might just fully embrace the spooky. And we came up with a hashtag to go along with that, and it's going to be hashtag Spooky Sal Scramble. So you'll be seeing that on a lot of my spooky works that will be coming up in the next few months. Particularly the Cryptid Sal, the Candlestick Sal, and the Stitchonomy Campfire Stories Sal. But also my other spooky projects, I think I'm going to go ahead and tag with that hashtag as well. Then I thought, let's just pull out all the other ones. So I'm going to show you what else I currently have in terms of spooky whips. And I mean, as long as I'm doing spooky whips, what's another 2 or 3 to be started, right? So I'm trying to convince myself that I don't need to start any more spooky projects. But let me show you what I have. I have 2 from Autumn Lane Stitchery that I'm currently working on. So this one is Potions and Spells. This one I started for Stitches by Shelby's birthday start. And so I'm not very far on it because I pretty much did my obligatory start and then put it away because I have a lot of other things I need to do. But there it is. This is on 16 count Ice Queen Ada by Bee Stitch Me. I think it's gonna look gorgeous. And it's one of my favorite patterns that Autumn Lane's ever come out with. Other Autumn Lane pattern. I've seen this one even more recently, and this is the Witch's Spell. And here is where it's at for memory's sake. And again, 16 count Bee Stitch Me. This one is Atlantis. And then I have 2 other spooky whips in progress. Both of them are Sal's from last year. So it's probably high time that they got done. So I have last year's Stitchonomy Sal. I fell behind on this one and never got back. I managed to stay up with it until like the 13th or 14th of the month. So there is where I got to. But I have all of the squares to finish it. So this could be a relatively quick finish. And the other spooky project I currently have is Stitching Book Club's Frankenstein. And this one's going to take some more work. It seems like it should be really close to done, but it's not. And the reason why is here's where I'm at. And the problem that I have is everything in these 2 squares is all 1 row too high, which normally I wouldn't worry about, except it comes into the borders. So I have to figure out what I want to do about that. It could be up to ripping out all of this. I hope I don't have to go that far, but I don't know. So that is where it's at. Aside from that, and then this interior border, all I have to do is the thicker border around the outside. So if I don't have to do a lot of frogging, this could actually be a relatively quick finish. But I don't know. So that's where it's at. So those are my current projects, but I have a ton of other ones. I went through my paper charts. I didn't even go into my electronic charts because I just know that there's a ton in there too. But here's what I've got in paper charts that I could start right now if I wanted to. Well, maybe not. I need to look at this one. Yes, this one would need some kitting. Okay, but I have two more of the Autumn Lane Witches that I love so much. This one's Midnight Brew. And this one's the Lunar Witch. So those are completely ready to be started. Glendon Place Sleepy Hollow. I have everything, including the beads and fancy flosses, to start this one. This one I am missing one thing, so I would have to order. I'm missing one floss, and I think it's the border floss. But this is Bendy Stitchy Hildy's Hayride. And this one, I don't know. I haven't looked at the floss list for it, so I probably don't have everything to finish this one. Let me look. Yeah, this one, I don't have all of the silks. I have the DMC so I could start it, but I don't have all of the silks. But this is the Master and the Macabre. And then, as I said, I don't even know what's in my PDFs. I know for a fact that I do have my mini Got a Secret from my Haid. I believe it's Chris Ortega is the artist. That would count. And I'm sure I have a bunch of other ones. So yes, I could completely start a bunch of new ones for my Spooky Sal Scramble. I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm really trying very hard not to, or to convince myself that I don't need to start the Steady Thread Sal. But it's just black work, right? Famous last words. So yes, there are all of the projects that I could start in the next couple months. August, September, October. I have 3 months worth of spooky fun in store. Who knows what will happen? I certainly don't. So that was plans and a little bit of haul because I showed you my new Sal. I have 2 other bits of haul, and I have Flosstube Itchy Nose. The first is my fabric of the July fabric of the month from Bestitch Me is here, and I was really excited about that because I think it is going to be perfect for the Stitchonomy Sal. And I haven't floss tossed it yet, but I'm pretty sure just based on the fabric that is in the kit and the description. And so this month for me was a neutral, and this is Scroll. Perfect for campfire stories, right? Perfect month for this one. And the last thing that I picked up was a couple weeks ago, Ashley, the Stitching Penguin, sent me a DM like, hey, have you seen this one yet? And no, I had not, but I decided that I needed it. So this is from Mod Cross. This is it's a bundle of 2 patterns, and it's Books Are Magic. And one of the things that Ashley pointed out to me, which was the reason that I had to have it, is that one with the stack of books on the side. That one, those books are personalizable. You get several different sets of like scroll work and things that would fit on those books, and several different backstitch alphabets. So I can make that stack a list of some of my favorite books. And I'm trying to figure out what books need to be in that stack because I love so many. So the only 2 that I've decided for sure on are The Complete Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and Good Omens. And I haven't decided what's going to go in the rest of them. But I'm not starting it yet, so stay tuned. So that is all the stitchy stuff. Told you it'd be short. I didn't, but I meant to tell you it would be short. And as much as I said we might not see Lexi, I'm really actually surprised that we haven't. I'm going to move this stuff just in case she comes back and decides she wants to, because this is where she would walk around. So that is everything stitchy. If that's what you're here for and you're not interested in anything else, then this is where we part ways for the week. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next time, hopefully. And if not, sit around, settle in. Actually, I don't have a lot to talk about this week either. Reading, watching, listening to. I finished The Final Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy from Brandon Sanderson. And I knew, because I love his writing, I knew that it would be good, and I knew that I would finish that book and I'd need to know what came next. But wow. I did not see that coming. I ended the book a little sad. If you've read that book, you probably know why. Because I did not see that coming, and I don't think I particularly like it. But, well, we'll see how it goes. And I think that's all that I finished. I haven't finished any new shows. I've started a few things. My library finally got in the 25th volume of Blue Exorcist. So I'm about halfway through that. But it was bigger. Like usually they're about 202 pages. And I know that because they count for magical stitches because they have to be over 200, and it was the only manga I read that was. All the rest of them end at 192. So this one is 270. Still relatively quick read. So I got that from the library. I'm about halfway through it and nothing really there to report. It's advancing the storyline that was currently ongoing. My library still does not have the next volumes for Yona or Black Butler, and I'm starting to get to the point where I'm thinking I'm going to buy them. Those are two manga that I will want to reread. So yes, once I buy volume 29, I'm going to have to go back and buy volume 1 through 28. But it's not one that I will mind having. I already have volumes 1 and 3 of Black Butler as it is anyway. So still waiting on those. I did finish volume 2 of Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, and I am now, that ended on a surprise. So I'm on volume 3 of that. And I've started reading The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. To be determined. That's all I'm going to say about that one right now. To be determined. I haven't decided how I feel about it. So that's really all the reading, watching, and listening to. One of the reasons is because I am going back probably the next few weeks. I'm not going to be watching a lot of new stuff. Although What If comes out on August 11th. The new Marvel series on Disney+. So yeah, I'll probably watch that. But other than that, I'm a month out from Gen Con now. As of now, it is still happening. They have gone back and they've mandated 100% mask usage, which I am fine with. I fully support. I really do. According to the surveys and stuff that they've sent out ahead of time, the attendees are largely going to be vaccinated. I think their number was 90% of people reported either they were already vaccinated or planned to be. So Yes, there is still Delta variant, but I feel, right now I still feel okay about Gen Con. I did order masks this week to match all of my costumes, but that could change. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on our numbers, so it could change. I may still not go to Gen Con, which would be very upsetting. But since we're a month out from Gen Con right now, I am probably going to spend most of my television time rewatching Black Butler and Yona and Soul Eater, because those are the 3 costumes that I think I'm going to wear. I have a 4th costume, but I generally don't go on Thursday because it's a day off work and I don't want to take a day off work. I save those for vacation. So I'll probably only go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which means I need 3 costumes. So I'll need to be watching Soul Eater and Black Butler and Yona to kind of get down my mannerisms and things for my costumes. So yeah, not a whole lot of that. Reading, I need to start The Lost Hero as soon as I finish The House in the Cerulean Sea. That's a library book, so it has to be back within the next 10 days. So I have to finish that first, whereas I own The Lost Hero, so I can listen to that one whenever I want. And then I've got a lot of other stuff in the queue. But that's really it. So that's my reading, watching, listening to. Life updates. Again, TBD. I'm thinking about a lot of things that I've mentioned the last few weeks. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I'm still thinking. So I don't really have a whole lot of exciting life updates. Lexi and I continue to go on our walks around the reservoir with Hudson, her friend Hudson, and my friend, and are enjoying those very much. And I got to dance this week, and it was my last session with the nerd twin. He heads back to school this week, so back to bouncing from instructor to instructor for a little while until we get me settled with one that I'll stay with for a while. And my friend the cooking nerd, this is her last week with us. She is transferring to a different lab, and I'm gonna miss her, but we're still gonna stitch together. It'll be fine. In fact, next month we'll start the Cozy Cafe Sal. But I really think that's all I have life update wise. I'm going to go visit my dad 2 weeks from now. So things are quiet on the family front right now. All right, this is gonna be my shortest video in recent memory. Yay! Let me see one more time if I can get her in here to say hi. But don't hold your breath, because usually when she gets like this, I can't get her to come for anything. Lexi! Lexi, come here! I've got one thing that might work. Hey, Lexi! Worked. Come on up! All right, everybody, here's your hi from Lexi. Get one of her biscuits that she got from Rocky. And now you're gonna have to listen to her chew on it. Sorry about that. Didn't think that all the way through. But there she is. Yes, she's still happy and healthy and fine and just not bullying me this week like she was last week. All right, that's all I have. I should have a video next week, and then the week after that, since I'll be at my dad's, probably not. So hopefully next week. Again, if you want to follow along, the official hashtag for the Cryptid Sal is hashtag Cryptid Sal. And the hashtag for my Creepy Crafty Collective, which that's what I'm calling y'all now. I mean, if you don't like it, sorry. And I didn't say who all is involved in that, because I realized as I started recording, I didn't ask them if they wanted to be mentioned, minded being mentioned. So if you're watching and you're in there and you don't mind being mentioned, let me know and I will post those down in the show description with links to Flosstube channels and Instagram accounts. Oh, just a minute. Did she really only spin once? Wow. It's a record. Anyway, hashtag Spooky Sal Scramble, try saying that 5 times fast, is my general spooky exploits for the next several months. Costume Flosstube will not start until October, as always. But I will still do Costume Flosstube. And that is all I've got for you. Everybody have a great week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye.